Some Minecraft features are a little weird, some are clearly unintentional, and some cover that perfect overlap between the two circles, and today we're going to be going through these very not okay feeling features. Anyway, hello, I'm ABX and let's jump into 66 Minecraft features that really feel like they should be illegal, and let's start with one of my favorites, and it's got one of the funniest names, I'll admit, because bouncing salmon is a real thing. I'm sure you're familiar with how slime blocks should work. You jump on them and it takes some of your gravitational impact and lifts you back upwards. However, something that shouldn't be possible is jumping on a slime block higher than where you started. However, if you're a salmon, this is possible because salmon, when they're out of water, they try to bounce on the ground. However, when you add this salmon bounce to the force of the slime block, for some reason they get added together rather than cancelled out, and so salmon can jump slightly higher on every single bounce, meaning they can eventually jump so high they're going to hit the ceiling, which is very, very funny to say. I mean, it seems ridiculous, but as you can tell from all the dead salmon, they do in fact jump that high, and so if you want to see bouncy blocks and bouncy bones and bouncy everything else, then bouncy salmon is one of my favorite illegal feeling features that isn't that hard to actually pull off. Speaking of things that aren't that hard to pull off, this feature is one that was illegal feeling when we put it into the video, but in between then, Minecraft has patched it because you used to be able to place torches on top of candles. However, here's the interesting thing, you cannot do it anymore. So to replace the second one in this video, because I guarantee you're still going to get your 66, and so this is one I wasn't so familiar with, but it is very fun regardless. If you place a sign down on a block and you type whatever you want, you know, subscribe, it's really great and helps out the channel a lot, and then you try to place a item frame on there, it will actually work. This feels very strange. It feels very illegal, and the weirdest thing about it, in my opinion, is the fact it doesn't even have to be on a solid block. So we can place our sign on the side of a lantern and then place an item frame on the side of that sign. Something feels very off about this floating sign here in the sky, but yet this is entirely possible, and now you know. Speaking of things that are entirely possible, that now you know, this third one is very interesting because pistons and portals. As you can see, portals, for some reason, are a block in Minecraft. They look more like a weird portal to another dimension, I would say, but if you activate a piston, they don't work, because apparently this is also one that doesn't work on weird occasions. However, instead, I like to replace it with the weird fact you might not know, which is that portal blocks are only visible from above. I mean, actually, you can see the sparkling effect, but it looks like there's no portal up there, which means that if we were stupid enough to jump right now, I'm not going to, we would end up in the end. I'll show you what happens when we do that. However, instead, you know, that's despite the fact that we can't see anything, and we clearly know it's there because our pistons don't work for some strange reason. Speaking of things that we clearly know, the fourth illegal feature is the fact that the power of haste. I guess this is the third one. Wow. You know what? Again, gotta give power to Adorable Ho. Didn't count this one towards the list. So haste, 2, which is gotten from a maxed out beacon, is something that you can get that will increase your mining speed if you then have an efficiency 5 pickaxe, or perhaps an efficiency 5 netherite pickaxe. Then what you can do is you can break blocks literally instantly in a way that feels wrong. One tiny tap and every block vanishes, and it happens so fast that it looks very strange. It happens so fast that it feels like something is broken, but let me assure you, this is very much how it's meant to go, and I think that's odd, but now you know. You can also break some obsidian in very, very short amount of times, but that doesn't feel illegal, that just feels OP. Speaking of the difference between OP and illegal, let's go into the next one here. Did you know that cats don't take full damage? Oh my god! Oh, that was horrifying. I was so scared of all the cat death I was about to watch. Except, did you know, unlike me, cats don't take full damage. Unless your name is IBX Toycat. You gotta give some humor points to that right there. It's true, cats don't take full damage. They've got 9 lives, although in Minecraft it's infinite lives, as long as it's from full damage. Whereas IBX Toycat, you're gonna have to respawn it every single time. So we're gonna get out of here now. I want to do that again. You know what? No, I want to do this again. Sorry. This is so fun to me. Look at that. They're just all of the... Okay, come on, let me over. Look at this. Look at this. All the cats. Oh, no. They can survive an infinite full, which is hilarious to me. Also, so can chickens, but they fly down slowly, so they don't count. Also, I think the cats are now going to go out and ruin the map, so let's hope that they don't. So did you know the enchanted golden apple feels a little illegal? Have you ever tried eating these things? You just eat, and then you eat, and then you eat, and then you eat, and no matter what comes at you, like being teleported to the void, you can survive it. Look at this. Seriously, I can survive in the void as long as I'm eating enchanted golden apples. The one untouchable place in Minecraft is entirely touchable if you just have the right amount of food. And admittedly, you have to keep eating these things. Oh wow, even then actually, we can survive so long without doing it. Oh, wow. Huh. Okay, now we die. We survived so long in the void, though. That is amazing. Oh my god, all the cats that have gotten loose, they're just pressing all the buttons and they're breaking everything over and over again. Okay, my plan to stop the cats from ruining the game, as they are currently doing, is, of course, to block them away. And instead, let me show you the 6th illegal feeling Minecraft feature. Did you know in Minecraft Java, you can open the game to LAN? This means you can play on a local area network. My god, these cats are annoying. Anyway, you can play on a local area network, and this is a great feature for playing with people on your same network as you. However, this can also be used to jump into creative, and as you can see looking at it, it feels very wrong that you can just turn any survival world, even one locked into survival with cheats turned off, into creative by using a bug that people literally don't want fixed because of how much they abuse it. I think it's kind of crazy. Feels very illegal, I would argue. By our definition of unintentional and weird, it definitely is. And so that is why we're going to move into the 7th feature, because here is a weird one. Hoppers are a lovely Minecraft block that can pick things up when you throw it on top of there. As you can see, this hopper is picking up my cobblestone and it will transfer them into the chest. However, for some reason, hoppers, when they're in minecarts, can pick up items that they pick up, not only when they're on the road, just like this, but also when they're on top of carpets, just like this, but also when they're on top of half slabs, just like this. As you can see, the hopper is literally picking up the things that are just above it, but even stranger than that is the fact that the hopper, as you're going to see right here, will pick it up from the block above, and then even crazier than that is they'll pick it up from the block above when there's carpet. Why is the hopper picking up items that are well above it for a block that is physically disconnected from them? I don't really know, but I guess people use it for redstone, and so we might as well keep it there. And speaking of things we might as well keep there, oh, we've got a lot of fun items here. Speaking of fun things we might as well keep, I hope that the cat stops soon. Anyway, onto the 8th illegal feature, never travel. This is so ridiculous to me. Look how far we would have to go if we were to do this by hand. I can show you on a map, apparently, how far this actually is. Oh, wow. Love the map art right here. But I can show on a map just how far this would be, and I can show you, using my spyglass, the fact that we probably can't see the other side. Yeah, we literally cannot. However, we can travel all of that distance by just hopping into a nether portal, waiting for the loading screen, and then going back into another nether portal. Now, as you can see, we traveled about 10 blocks in the nether, so how far do you think we traveled in the real world? Well, I mean, it's so far we physically cannot see the other end, and we're just on the other side of a subscribe to Toycat map. You know, I want to see that subscribe to Toycat logo in real life. Let's break through here and let's see it. Is it over here, right? Can you see it yet? I can't see it yet. It's over there. Oh, there it is. Subscribe to Toycat. See, that's how you make maps. You just write things on the ground, and then it looks like that from above. And you know what? Gotta give Adorable Host some credit there. Speaking of some credit, the 9th feature here is Dinnerbone. This is a name tag. Have you heard of them? They're pretty cool. And obviously, if you rename it to Dinnerbone, like we can do by throwing in an anvil, I always forget which way you're meant to spell Dinnerbone, or if there's like an underscore at the end or something. Anyway, Dinnerbone allows you, as you can very easily see, to turn things upside down. You can do this to all sorts of weird animals, including the shulker box, which means that, as you can see, the shulker now opens in a weird, very strange upside down way that makes absolutely no sense as best I can tell. You can do this to villagers if you want. You can do this to horses, and you know, I'm gonna press the secret button and I can show you what happens if we do it to the wither. Why is it that Minecraft's most dangerous mob, our biggest boss that you have to fight, can be fought upside down if you just name him the right thing? And the answer to that is I genuinely don't know. Also, you know, I love the lore we're throwing into this. Ouch. I didn't get out of there in time. Anyway, yeah, my point here is that Dinnerbone is not just OP, but feels very broken. And of course, it's in Minecraft as an Easter egg and joke, and oh, I see why why we got invisibility now. I see why that's so important, because now I'm gonna die up here. You know what, let's just go up to the sky. Let's see what the map really looks like. You know, you always see these maps and videos and you go, well, that's clearly what someone's doing. But do you ever question what the map is like? And the answer is exactly like this. Anyway, so if we just name a few more things, you can see a Dinnerbone horse, and you can hope... The villager is standing on the ceiling. I mean, is this intended behavior? I reckon not. Speaking of things I reckon, the 10th illegal seeming feature is how eggs hatch in Minecraft. Would you like me to show you? So right now, I'm just chilling in front of the world's most beautiful house, and let's say I wanted to hatch some chickens. Unlike the way that regular spawn eggs work, where you spawn something into the world, you just throw enough eggs against a wall, and then eventually chicks pop out. There's even a 1 in 256 chance when you throw an egg of 4 chicks popping out of it, which doesn't even make any sense. That's not how chickens work in the real world. It feels weird, but it is actually the most efficient way. Also, there's a cat in here. I don't think this is gonna go well. Those dang whippersnappers throwing eggs at my house. You know what? That is how I would feel if people threw eggs at my house repeatedly. And anyway, my point here is just to say that, yeah, the way that every other spawn mechanic works is you breed 2 animals together, and you can breed 2 chickens, but also they drop eggs, which makes it the most easily spawnable thing. And this is actually, if I'm not mistaken, the only spawn egg you can access in survival. I feel like, having access to other spawn eggs by using Silk Touch or something on a mob would be cool. But right now, the only spawn egg you can use is a very weird, inefficient 1 in 16 chance, and I find that strange. Speaking of things that is strange, breeding chickens. I don't know why this feels illegal. I guess because you give them seeds and then magically bark, 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 and bark, 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 bark are gonna just magically have little chicken babies. Which is it? Do they have babies by laying the eggs, or do they have babies by being fed to each other and going into love mode? The answer is apparently both, but that doesn't make any sense to me. And speaking of things that don't make any sense, just while we're here anyway, why is it that feeding enough seeds to a bird makes him magically grow up? I'm just saying, we need some consistency here, Minecraft. Speaking of consistency from Minecraft, this is a slime. And if you have many slime chunks in your world, like I do you know what you can do? You can put the slimes in a boat. Every boat in Minecraft can fit 2 entities, however, and this means that if you were to, say, put 2 slimes in one boat, they would overlap perfectly like this, leading to the strangest situation I think I've ever seen of a long diagonal bug-seeming slime that is actually 2 distinct separate mobs. As you can see, if I punch one, then the other, and then one, and then the other. Why is this possible? How is this possible? Honestly, it just comes down to using weird Minecraft features together, but I love it anyway. Speaking of things that I love, the 13th feature, also I think the chickens are now standing on the side. The 13th feature, automatic farms. Did you know that automatic farms, if we turn up the tick speed, are something that people on YouTube act like is the normal part of Minecraft, is the natural part of the progression in the game. However, they are an incredible thing when you really think about it, that we have all the ingredients in Minecraft between pistons, between observer blocks, and between plants that grow in very predictable ways to infinitely farm any resource as long as you're next to them. You can scale them up to produce massive quantities of pretty much anything you like in the game, and although it is a very niche thing that, again, only a small percentage of people actually end up doing, it's still so interesting to see that we have all of the things required. And then even crazier is the minecart hoppers can be combined in there to, again, look how much bamboo we got in just a few short minutes because of the insane tick speed. And if we just had a bigger farm, it would work exactly the same. You can get an infinite amount of certain resources just with some farms. Speaking of some great things, here is the 14th illegal feeling Minecraft feature, the Nether Roof. Thank you to the editor for showing that on the screen. I totally do agree. Speaking of things that I agree with, the 15th illegal swing Minecraft feature, the fact that you can die in creative mode, again, only possible on Java Edition. On Bedrock, you cannot die in creative, but on Java, if you do this, you'll die. Why is that true? I mean, why is anything true? I mean, is anything true? Is truth just a relative concept? Let me know in the comments down below. Speaking of things that I think are relative, drowns are totally hackers. Have you ever seen a drowned, and have you ever seen what happens if you try to defend yourself against one? So here's a drowned. Hi, friend. Do you wanna fight me? Okay, I'll just back away with my shield. And you know what's gonna happen? The drowned is gonna throw tridents at me, right? As you can see, he's literally throwing a trident, and therefore you might assume that, wow, he's got so many tridents on it. Because look, he throws one, they end up in the water, and then he just immediately has another one. In fact, you don't even see him restock it. He throws it while still having it in his hand, which feels a little bit like hacking. The only way you can do that in natural Minecraft is when you're in creative. Therefore, the drowned is always in creative, and as you can see, you can't pick up these spare drowned tridents, which therefore indicates to me that drowns are literally just hacking Minecraft. Thank you very much, Mr. Trident Boy. Anyway, moving on to the next weird illegal feeling Minecraft feature, villagers being absolute suckers. Do you know they literally harvest, they have farms in their own villages, right? And they store wheat in their own chests. You can take that wheat from the chests, or potatoes, or beetroot, or any vegetable, and then you can go to them and you can say, hey, would you like to give me some money in exchange for those very same resources that I stole from your chest? And they'll go, yeah. These same villagers that are so stingy that if you want to buy 4 pumpkin pies, they'll require a single emerald. These villagers that are so stingy, they sell 18 cookies, which is just cocoa beans and wheat for, which by the way, makes even less sense, right? But anyway, as you can see, stingy villagers that will have trades like this will also give you emeralds in exchange for the wheat that you literally stole from their own farms. And I'm just saying, it's not a very good business model. Just like the next thing, which isn't a good business model, duplicating flowers. This feels like it shouldn't be allowed, but if you take a stack of bone meal and you apply it to, say, some flowers, do you know what happens? Magically, another one of those flowers just appears out the side. This is another flower that appeared just because I picked up this flower, or this rose bush. Is a rose bush a flower? You know, there's an interesting categorization question. Anyway, if you just spam bone meal on top of a flower, you'll end up with more rose bushes than you know what to do with. Place down more rose bushes, and you'll see they instantly grow, and then you can bone meal these rose bushes, and you can get even more of them, and then all of a sudden, you've ended up with more rose bushes than actually makes any sense, and that is why the 19... Well, by the way, you'd have more rose bushes if you had an automatic farm for bones, which you can totally do. Anyway, the next feature that feels illegal is this one. I think it's very strange because water, if you just place it down, it will create source blocks and then the rest will be flowing water. At the top there are some source blocks of water, but as you can see from the rest of this, it's actually flowing water, which is why the soul sand does not pull you down. Or does soul sand push you up? I think it pushes you up. Anyway, the reason that this is like this is pretty clear. Anyway, so if, however, what we do instead is we go down to the bottom here and we grab some kelp, and if you then bone meal these kelp, do you know what happens? Magically, the water that used to be, just a regular block becomes a source block. This means if you bone meal them up far enough, or even if you don't and you just place them down, or if you don't bone meal them, you instead use this, as you can see, the water around it slowly becomes, actual source blocks, because the water around a kelp is always a source block. Why is this true? I mean, confusing things about how the update aquatic worked and about how Minecraft has 2 types of water that really have very arbitrary different rules. Oh, as you can see, this room is redundant. Click to leave. How very convenient. Anyway, as you can see, now if we remove the kelp and we activate this, you can see that all of a sudden we can get pushed up to the top. It's very strange though, because in this same bit of water that looks the same, only the places that I previously had kelp in will push me to the top. This means you can kind of selectively make underwater tunnels where over here, oh, what did I just do? Over here, I will be able to fall down, which is handy, very convenient. But over here, I'll be pushed up, despite it all having soul sand at the bottom. Why is that true? Because Minecraft is weird. Well, welcome to the whole point of this video. Minecraft is a weird game. Would you like to know other ways that it's weird? Number 20, water is a lifesaver. This is the most basic Minecraft feature in the world, I'll admit, but if you fall down because you're trying to get something like a pickaxe, all it requires is 1 tiny pixel of water and you can save your life. I mean, there's no diamonds down here, but there's something better than diamonds, which is obviously my Neveract pickaxe. That floats, right? It does float. You know, the sign says there's no diamonds here, but I reckon that it might just be wrong. Oh, I reckon wrong, apparently. Anyway, I've always felt like it's the strangest thing that water can save you from literally heights of this level, when really, that's not how it works in real life. I mean, at least that's not how the water I've been using works. Maybe I've just been doing it wrong. Speaking of things that I've been doing slightly wrong, here is the 21st feature, punch flying. This is very hard to pull off, but when you pull it off, it is so satisfying. Did you know that you can punch yourself while flying with an elytra? So if we activate our elytra, we turn that on, and then we punch ourselves with a flying bow, we can get over this gap that otherwise we wouldn't be able to. Just to show you what happens if we try, we fly, and we don't make it. Gliding will not make you over a gap this big. You're gonna need some fireworks, except if you don't have fireworks, all you need is a bow with this on, as you can see. If you just hit yourself at just the right angle, like I'm gonna try to do right here, poorly. So there's a few fun ways you can do this. You can hit yourself while you're flying, or if you trust yourself, you can do it while you're just about to head off. And as you can see, 1 punch arrow from myself will knock me over that gap. That's right, you can punch yourself with arrows, which obviously is funny enough if you're standing on the ground. but it's extra fun when you activate it to get a super elytra boost. Speaking of super elytra boost, here's an entirely unrelated feature, quasi connectivity. If you know your Minecraft, Java, Redstone, you know why this is so controversial, and if you don't, here is one of the weirdest things in Minecraft. Redstone travels diagonal, and we just accept that that's how it's meant to be because it's useful for farms and stuff. I don't know. Speaking of things that we don't understand, bridging with leaves. Leaves feel as though, to me at least, they should be a block that decays over time. I mean, that's how it works on trees. However, you can bridge with leaves if you really want to, and it makes a perfectly fine structure that will hang over the void of nothingness for some reason, even when it's unconnected to other leaves. Why is this true? How is this possibly a sturdy structure which I can stand on top of? I don't know, but you can do it anyway. Speaking of things we can do anyway, Medium Salmon Edition. Oh no. Please don't tell me we have to talk about the version of Minecraft where there's only salmon of one size. I refuse to do it. I refuse to do it. Speaking of things I refuse to do, the 25th one here is Ender Cheese. I actually don't know what this is referring to, so this will be fun. Here is a Netherite sword, and here is an Enderman. I'm guessing I can cheese the Enderman by using this little platform that is too high. So we punch him once, he tries to attack us, and then we go underneath a too high platform, and he's too tall to get under here, so he just stands right there and lets me punch him to death. It feels very, very OP. It feels very, very illegal that Minecraft's strongest mob can be brought down by a 2-block high ceiling, but this is a reminder as to why the 2-block high ceiling while I use my chest room is actually superior, because it's actually Enderman proof. Some people say, ooh, you've got to go free height so the ceiling's not too low. No, this is why you need 2 height ceilings. I've officially proven it. And speaking of things I've officially proven, the 26th illegal feature, Flying into the Void. This is really cool. It's a relatively new addition to the game because you can fly into the void. I'll show you right now what this looks like. It's incredibly strange because the negative area below Y0 in the end is meant to be the stage where nothing else can happen. However, because of weird bugs and or weird features and or weird illegal sounding things, you can now do that on the Bedrock edition. Speaking of things that you can do, boats on blue ice. This literally was confirmed to be an unintended feature that players just loved so much they decided to keep it. But riding a boat on ice is not meant to happen, but riding a boat on packed ice is even faster than that. And so when blue ice was brought to the game with 1.13, do you know what that means? A form of travel that is so fast. Oh my god. Okay, well that's the reason you probably shouldn't do it, huh? A form of travel that is so fast and so dangerous, and forgot to finish the road. Luckily, our next feature can get us back up. That actually is very cool. Minecart elevators. This is my favorite form of elevator. I've never seen it look as good as this. Props to Adorable Ho put together this map for showing off how great a minecart ladder can be. I love the use of chains here, but as you can see, by just right-clicking or left-trigging or whatever you want to call it, you can get yourself up and down a very, very tall ladder of these that is very, very fun. It also can save you from your falling to your death. It's very, very strange in my opinion how this is, and yeah, it stutters, it looks weird, it's a low frame rate thing. It's like a pigeon. Have you ever seen a pigeon walking around? It looks like it moves at about 5 frames a second. It just suddenly goes from one frame to another. That is how minecart elevators feel, and you know what? Pigeons are illegal, and so are minecart elevators. Speaking of things that are illegal, while we're on the subject of animals anyway, did you know Dolphin's Grace is an effect on the Java edition, but it's not officially an effect on Bedrock. Instead, there is this weird thing that you get when you fly, or when you swim, sorry, near dolphins, that is called Dolphin's Grace internally, but that doesn't show up on your list of effects. Instead, we just have conduit power, and you can see that, yeah, we do have Dolphin's Grace, we're swimming faster, but how can we really be sure we have Dolphin's Grace? And the answer is, we can't be. Why is it like that? I don't know for sure. Probably shouldn't be spawning an enemy here though, right? Okay, you know what? That feels illegal. That feels incredibly illegal. Speaking of things that feel a little strange, let's move on to the 30th feature, Riptide plus Rain plus Elytra. This one's too difficult to set up in map format, so here you can see what that looks like. Here's one I made earlier. Wow, doesn't that look fun? Speaking of things that look fun, we've got the marketplace. Microsoft have to be breaking some sort of law to to allow such an atrocity to exist in Minecraft. Obviously, this is a little bit of an overtop way of saying it, but yeah, the fact that Minecraft managed to change a game which was sold under the premise of, yeah, you pay for the game once and it's great, to, oh, you can actually pay for thousands of dollars of extra stuff, and also we're going to be regularly pushing that extra stuff on you. It's crazy that game companies can do this, and it's even crazier to me that the marketplace is one of the most consumer-friendly versions of that. You know, the fact that other games have done it so much worse, kind of a nutty thing. But the real nutty thing is that, yeah, Minecraft with one fell swoop overnight. Is it fell swoop? I'm pretty sure fell swoop is the phrase. Minecraft with one fell swoop managed to change the wording around maps and map making into being a fun, quirky way of making things into a paid profession. Speaking of paid professions, anti-gravity string. As you can see, this looks like it shouldn't exist. It looks like the witch has done some crazy little spell. Oh, this is Jimmy, the villager from earlier. He went bankrupt from buying all that wheat from you so long ago. Long story short, he became a wizard that makes sand float. And obviously, it looks like the witch has cast a spell here, but actually, string can just make sand float, just like that. This is what it should look like without the string. It's very, very strange. It's very, very odd. And all you gotta do is break a few more of these, and now all of a sudden, what have we done? Nothing very pretty. Actually, we made a face again. I like it. Speaking of things I like, should we move on to the next feature here? 33 partial blocks versus sand. If you have partial blocks, like a sign is the obvious one, but if you have a partial block like, say, the flower pot, the end portal frame, the rail, the torch, the redstone dust, the lantern, the button, the candle, the lever, the half slab, the bed, the brewing stand, the chest, if you have any partial block in Minecraft and then sand happens to fall on it, as we can do right here, do you know what's going to happen? All of the sand will break. It feels like this isn't how Minecraft should handle a gravity-affected block falling down, but this is how Minecraft handles a gravity-affected block falling down. I think it's very interesting. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. Speaking of things that you don't, here is the next thing. Cactus being too hard. So the explanation for this one, in case you're curious, is that in the real life Mohs scale, which is the way that we measure hardness, gold is one of the more brittle and meldable things that we actually have. This is why it breaks so easily in Minecraft. It's a 2.5 on that Mohs hardness scale. Then we have glass, which scratches at level 6 with deeper grooves at level 7. And then we have diamonds, which is a 10 on the Mohs scale, the hardest mineral on Earth, the hardest natural thing that we have found. However, take one of these incredibly hard, incredibly, beautiful gems and throw them against a cactus, one of the less hard things, and all of a sudden it's gone. In Minecraft, even the most literally indestructible block in the game, Bedrock, will break when you throw it against a cactus because cactuses can destroy everything. Should they destroy everything? I mean, the answer from Minecraft developers is yes. Speaking of Minecraft developers, I think Perpetual Water is one of the weirdest things, and I love the way that we're going to show it off today, because look at this lovely little tunnel, would you call it? And anyway, let's grab a bucket, let's grab a water, and let's show you what I mean by this. If we just place some water right over here, you'll see that it flows downwards. Then that water will flow all the way around here because it's still just trying to find the easiest way down. And the single water bucket, which I've since removed, by the way, I can place it back again just to show you how this works. The single water bucket, which I've since removed, will just keep on moving all the way round and down. This is actually so mesmerizing to watch. I want to build this in my world. This is so cool. If you're wondering where I got the inspiration for doing what I did in my Let's Play probably a few days ago, this is that. My God. Oh, look at this. Oh, yeah, this is so delightful. It looks like it should just flow down, but it doesn't. In fact, it looks like it shouldn't exist at all because I've got the water in my bucket right here. That's the same water there and over here. And yet instead, we have this beauty, which, oh, was that not the most satisfying thing you've ever seen? I bet that it is indeed. Anyway, so that's so cool. Speaking of things that are so cool, a legal Minecraft feature, 36, free energy over runity. Over runity? You know what? Let's find out how electricity works in real life. Some energy source is used to turn a turbine. That is factually correct. Did you know? The power is generated, processed, then carried away by power lines. That power is processed even further away by power stations and roadside transformers, and then a tiny amount of electricity ends up at your house. In real life, electricity won't flow continuously unless there's a circuit. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. You know what? I actually really love this little TED Talk right here, trying to explain that, yeah, there is continuous power generation that is then being transferred over to make this redstone lamp right here turn on forever. However, in Minecraft, all you need to do is turn a switch and then infinite power can come out, enough to drive this around infinitely in a circle. In fact, you don't even need a circuit. You need a redstone torch, which is an infinite amount of electricity, which can just come from this and go into a bit of redstone into a redstone lamp. I actually think that one of the ways you could encourage like farm-like mechanics in Minecraft and more interesting stuff is by making electricity have to come from natural sources. I mean, we have daylight detectors. We probably could make wind turbines and encourage people to make renewable energy or whatever Minecraft's into these days, as opposed to right now, infinite energy goes brr, as it is so elegantly put here. Speaking of elegant ways to put things, auto experience farms. I would like to quickly show you something very interesting, because if you want experience, you've got to do one of these things in Minecraft. It's a very big list. However, if you want experience in Minecraft, all you need to do is find some spawners, stand near those spawners, and then either you can commit the last hit to each of these mobs, like the skeletons, we can punch them, or because of the weird world of the trident killer, you can have a trident which stays in midair forever, and if that's your trident that kills something, you'll be able to always get experience from killing these mobs. I think it actually broke right now, but as you can see, a trident that was placed a long time ago is now giving me experience, which doesn't make any sense. Speaking of things that don't make any sense, you could also use tame dogs, but that would be animal cruelty. Also, if your tame dog kills an animal, then you'll still get the experience in the same way. Experience should only be given when you do these tasks, but as Minecraft players, we love to simplify things down into grinders. And speaking of grinders, here is a way to grind things into experience. If we have a massive smelter smelting up, say, iron or gold or something else, and then we turn off those smelters so that the iron builds up on the inside, every single one of these iron ingots that we take should give us, what, 2.5 experience? However, it gives us the total experience that has been collected in the furnace so far. As you can see, I'm now going to get myself a solid 31 experience from this, another 5 levels from this one, another 5 levels from this, another 4 levels or 3 levels from this. And my point here is every single time we grab experience, it keeps on increasing our levels. It's being stored in a very, very strange way that feels illegal. Okay, they fixed the bug part of it. You can still just now collect all that experience. It's very, very strange that you can collect so much experience so fast, but you can sort of store experience in a furnace even without the bug, which I find to be so interesting. And you can use that to repair maybe some tools. Oh, I was meant to do that first. Okay, so imagine that we did do that to repair some tools, because now every time we grab some, it slightly repairs our stuff. Although, again, kind of messed this one up, huh? Probably should have read that sign before the other signs. Speaking of signs that I have no ability to read, is it even magma? Here is magma underneath some water. As you can see, it hurts when I stand on it. However, I don't know what the comment is meant to be here. I'm guessing it's the fact that the magma is damaging me. However, if I crouch, for some reason, magma doesn't damage me. What is the logic meant to be here? How does the way that I crouch my body slightly forwards affect the damage that I'm taking from literal magma, red hot blocks that are slowly burning me to death? I don't understand the logic. I just know that that's how Minecraft works. Speaking of how Minecraft works, seed searching. When you start a new world, do you let the game pick a random seed, or do you search for a good seed to use first? I mean, apparently you can go either way on this one, but it does feel like picking a particular seed that you know has very good loot, like say 3 diamonds at spawn, should be like, that's not how any other game works, but it is how Minecraft works, and it's not only totally okay, but it's not considered a cheat by most players, which is very interesting. I'll admit I've got a bias on this one because I make Seed Sunday, but it feels as though there's a certain cheat to, you know, like having picked a specific seed, but it's one that people love to do anyway. Speaking of things that people love to do anyway, let's talk about the mending fishing rod. You can actually, you know, because unlike every other tool, when you use it, you're usually breaking the experience and you have to later use it to repair it. However, the mending experience rod will always repair itself with the experience you get from using it to fish. So if we have lore on our fishing rod like we do now, we're going to fish way faster, and then every time we do pick up a fish, the experience that our rod loses from throwing it into the water is then immediately regained by the catch that we do. In other words, you can never lose durability on a mending fishing rod unless you're using it for something entirely wrong I can't imagine right now. And speaking of doing things wrong, Deoxidizing Copper. This is, again, I get why they had to add it to the game, because people don't want to ruin their stuff forever, but if you just tap if you just tap oxidized copper with an X, you remove the rust from it, and you get this really weird set of blue sparkles, which I just find to be so strange and so weird feeling. This is a new Minecraft feature, I'll admit, so they clearly did intend it, but like, are we sure this is how it's meant to work? Can you really scratch off the rust without changing the block shape? In Minecraft, the answer is yes. And also in Minecraft, Guardians can breathe, apparently. I mean, if you take away their water supply, like I've done right here, they will still fire lasers at you. By the way, unlike other projectiles, the laser, Guardian, the Guardian laser will actually not hit other Guardians on the way to you, meaning not only did these guys have the magic power to hit through armor, not only did they have the magic power to hit through other mobs and enemies, because they've got this weird laser beam, but also the Guardians have the extra power of being able to breathe despite being underwater, clearly fish-based mobs. And so you have to murder them, because otherwise they bounce around and they still hurt you, which is just, it's just a whole new level of something interesting. By the way, isn't it weird? Minecraft has such few mobs which are like fantasy and fun like this. You know, they're always focused on adding frogs to the game or whatever else. I think mobs like this that are entirely made up are some of the most interesting ones. Like, they're clearly based on fish, but they're extra scary because you don't know what's going on, and I like that as a concept. We should do more of that. Speaking of things we should do more of, drying sponges. So I love sponges, and if you use a sponge to drain up some water, it becomes a wet sponge. Throw a wet sponge in a furnace on the other hand, and you know what happens to it? It becomes dry. The only other option you have is to go to literal hell, and I do agree with that. But the weird thing about this that you might not know is the fact that if we take away the coal, we place the water down on the ground, and we place the bucket in the furnace, do you know what happens to the bucket? The water that you just that you just got out of there can be collected for later use. This is the weird Minecraft mechanic that I don't even understand, and I don't understand why they added it. I don't understand who it's for. I just know that it feels very strange, just like the next feature, because did you know? Free energy again. Perpetual food cooking, why ever bother with smokers? If you want to use a smoker or a furnace to cook your food, you're doing something wrong, because that always requires buckets of lava or coal or, something like that. I keep thinking this is coal, but it's an Enderman spawn egg. But if you just place them on top of a campfire, you can cook whatever you want, whenever you want it. You can even cook different foods at the same time without having to wait for the furnace to reload, meaning just a few campfires can provide all of your meat cooking ability. It's honestly one of the weirdest items ever added to the game, and so just like every other weird item, it clearly came from a, you want to be a limited energy peasant? I didn't think so. Just like every other weird feature added to the game, it came from a community vote. So if you voted for the campfire, you voted for whatever we're watching right now. It's strange, it doesn't make much sense, but you better believe I'm going to eat it. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to eat the golden carrots. This is the best food. Always eat golden carrots. Speaking of golden carrots, do you know what I find interesting? Bamboo growth rates. So this is a bamboo jungle forest. I mean, it's not. This is a YouTube video where we clearly have a world that's been pre-built specifically to show off Minecraft features. However, this is bamboo that we're going to place down in our bamboo forest. And as you can see, the tick speed is slightly higher than normal, so it's going to happen 5 times faster. However, bamboo still have this very strange thing where they will actually grow at a rate that doesn't necessarily match up with what you expect. So as you can see, place down a bunch of bamboo, and then a full 30 seconds later, at 5 times speed, so this is 2.5 minutes in the real world, we have just a single 2-high bamboo, and then a second 2-high bamboo. Yeah, this feels incredibly slow. I don't know if it's meant to, or why when you place bamboo first, it's not a real block, but then if you remove the top block that generates afterwards, it is. Even though it's 1 height again, you can stand on this. You know what, bamboo feels illegal as a whole feature. Speaking of things that feel illegal, next up here, map art. This is something that Adorable Hope put a lot of effort into, but you can place blocks down on a map to kind of make a beautiful little art, and here is an example, a rainbow. You can really make this in your Minecraft world using just a few colored concretes. You can really make this using, oh man, this is really nice. I like this one a lot. Or here is one that I'm especially fond of. It is, as you can see, youtube.com/c/toycat, and then it's IBX Toycat with his 1.77 million subscribers. Wow, you should join those and perhaps subscribe. But yeah, this is something I've actually attempted and succeeded in my survival world. All you need to do is find a backdrop for it. You can use an ocean to make it blue, you can use the end to make it black, and then you can place things on top of that to make a rainbow, a sunset, a YouTube, or whatever else you want to, and it's absolutely delightful. Also, if you really want to, my inventory is messed up even here, if you really want to, you can add a glass pane to your map to make it locked in, just like this, and so if you want to have your beautiful art forever preserved, then then you can do that pretty easily. And oh, whoa, this is so cool. This is incredible. Look at the little star room. It's kind of messed up in the corners, but like this from this particular angle looks like abnormally fake. I love it. I want to do something like this too. Look at they're just a few blocks of quartz that you can use to make this amazing pattern, and I like it. You rotate it a little bit, and then it looks like it's kind of randomly placed in there too. Speaking of things that look randomly placed, next up we've got a randomly placed dead bush, but it's actually about deserts spawning next to snow, because Minecraft biome generation is meant to prioritize temperature. However, you can't, it doesn't actually happen that way. This isn't a real example, so you can see some real ones on screen right now. It's pretty nuts, it's pretty intense, just like this tent that is above the little hut that we have right here. As you can see, one of the weird things about Minecraft is you can't sleep in the day. This is unlike how the real world works, because I mean, you can set your spawn point in a bed, but you can also take a nap. In Minecraft, or you can't go to bed if it's daytime. You can't skip to the night, you can only skip the night to be day, and it's very strange how skipping night to day actually works. So beds as a whole, I would just say, come out of this thing of like, yeah, feels illegal, feels like it doesn't work, feels like it really shouldn't be there, but you know what is better? Bed bombs. In the overworld, you just set your spawn point, but in the nether and the end, this happens. Wow, isn't that intense? Speaking of intense, here's another one we're gonna have to show some magical footage for, because in real life, you need legal documents to cross borders. But in Minecraft, that's not true. You're not technically correct, I do have to say. Next up here, we have the moody brightness, which as you can see, very weird, very strange, almost as weird as a room full of dogs, because there is no cap on taming animals. If you want, you can tame as many animals as exist in the game. This actually didn't used to be possible in the console version of Minecraft, and so if you came from Minecraft Xbox or Minecraft PlayStation or even Minecraft Wii U, you might not, or Minecraft PlayStation Vita if you're really strange, then you might not know that, yeah, you can tame as many dogs as you want, and you can set them all on the same animal. It's pretty intense, it's pretty over the top. I don't think you should do it, but yeah, if you can even breed the animals together and you can start to make more of them. Very, 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 very cool. Very, 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 very fun. And you can have as many of these as you humanly want. Speaking of things you might want more of, next up, auto sorters. This is really fun in my opinion. You can have an unsorted chest full of items. Oh my god, all of the dogs teleporting around is definitely gonna break things. You can have an unsorted chest full of items, and if you throw one of the things in there, just using some hoppers and some crazy magic, will automatically sort it into where it needs to be, just like this. I hope this is coal and not charcoal. I think it's coal. Oopsie. But anyway, you get the point. You can automatically sort things. It's very crazy. Speaking of very crazy, being told what you can and cannot do. Minecraft is a game where there are no rules, except actually there's many unwritten rules, and you may experience the consequences if you don't obey. Next up, we've got this. It's nice and simple, but you can bone meal plants and immediately make them grow. Have you ever really questioned the absurdity of that? Because I do all the time. How is it we can just come in here and magically make a taller piece of sugarcane just by using bones? Is that how the real world works? I'm not convinced it is. Speaking of innocent living creatures that I've got around me, this is going to be a whole problem from here on out. Cross-platform. You can play... This map was actually built by Adorable Ho on the PlayStation 4, but it was finished on the PC. Now I'm playing this on an Xbox controller using my Windows 10 device or 11 device, and the fact that we can do this on different platforms while still being the same Minecraft feels illegal. Next up, we have a game called Sink and Float. Apparently everything floats, including dogs. Anyway, lots of items that feel like they shouldn't float do float, including iron blocks, gold blocks, sticks, paper. Also, did you know we have the 59th feature, riding pigs, because Mojang says no unethical treatment of animals. That's why we can't ride dolphins. That's why we can't feed cookies to parrots. However, also Minecraft literally has not only a encouragement to do so. I'm very sorry, I didn't mean to do that, buddy. However, Minecraft also has a very fun thing where they directly encourage you, as strongly as they can, to ride a pig, and not just ride a pig, by the way, to literally ride a pig off a cliff. This is a ludicrous Minecraft feature, and honestly, looking at all the dogs that surround me as I do this probably should be enough evidence that Minecraft has ludicrous features. But yeah, it's nuts. It doesn't make much sense. And it brings us nicely into the 60th feature, changing villager trades. If you don't like what a villager has to trade, let's say he's trying to trade, I don't know, paper and a bookshelf with you, all you have to do is break the block that he's using to make the trades, replace it down. Oh wait, we have to wait for him to actually unassign himself as a villager. Wait for him to unassign himself as a villager, place it down, and he'll re-become a librarian, I imagine, and then he'll sell something new, like this, Frostwalker 2. Why is it that his trades change the moment that you break and re-break a block? We don't understand for sure. All we know is that the 61st feature, drinking milk is the cure to everything. Oh no, please, 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 let me save myself. I'm dying, and now I'm not, because the illness has been solved. That was a very fun command. Speaking of fun commands, you can't even compost poisonous potatoes. The most useless item in Minecraft can't even be composted, even though every other type of food and vegetable can be. Why is that? I don't know. Let's deliberately make an item completely useless. That'll make Minecraft such a better game. Speaking of things that make Minecraft better, fireworks and the elytra. Are they ICBMs or fireworks? I need to know, and then we're gonna go up. Do I still have an elytra on? I do. So let's fly upwards, and let's see what happens. I fly up, and as you can see, an explosion happens. And that doesn't feel like it should be okay. No, doggies, stop. The point was just meant to be that you can use fireworks both to launch yourself and to fly up. I think I need to be up there, actually. Am I trapped down here? Have I managed to softlock myself here? I guess I could use my punch bow that I threw on the ground earlier. Well, oops. Big oops. In case you wasted your only shot, lol. Yeah, he knows what's up. Anyway, as you can see, doesn't take a lot of work, but I can fly up, and here we are, enjoying the best of things. Get pranked, lol, down you go. Okay, so as you can see, very fun, but not as fun as the 64th feature, Emotes. Who put the Fortnite 6-year-olds in charge of Minecraft, even though both Dorboho and Toycat used to play Fortnite, and Dorboho still occasionally does. Did you know in Minecraft there is an emote button, and you can do the hammer, or you can do abduction? What is this one, actually? Look at this. This is in Minecraft. This is a real vanilla game feature. This isn't a weird mod that I'm showing you right now. This is just how Minecraft works. There's a few very dodgy ones in here, I'm going to be honest with you. However, yeah, you can just emote in Minecraft all you like, and I don't understand why, how, or anything else. I just know it's strange. Speaking of strange, farming totems. You can farm totems when dying very easily, just like this. Isn't that handy? But it's not as handy as the 66th feature, drowning zombies. This feels like the weirdest things, because you can, in Minecraft, we have a type of zombie that happens when a zombie drowns. I mean, why does a zombie drown to begin with? A skeleton doesn't drown, every other undead mob doesn't drown. However, zombies, once they've been underwater for long enough, do eventually do it. However, for some strange reason, when they become drowns, which is just a zombie that can sometimes hold tridents, they drop all of the things that they used to be holding. Whether that's swords, whether that's armor, whether that's... they're called loot bearers. I like that. You know, some high quality comedy there. They will drop the things that they've been wearing, just like this. And sure, there's a technical answer to this, and the technical answer is that, yeah, well, I mean, it's because they become a new mob, so they can't hold all the things they used to be able to, but I mean, that still doesn't feel like the ideal solution, really. Also, I guess we'll kill them with looting on, so we can get as many of these as possible. Okay, no smite on. Let's murder some drowns real quick. Just run through here, and you can see how all of the stuff they used to be holding is just right there at the surface. Very, very strange stuff. And also, and obviously the reason again, it's easy enough to explain, but it's not easy enough to explain why they decided to do that. But that brings us very nicely to the end of the video. This project took many hours to finish. It took hours and hours to put together a list of features that felt like this. It put hours together to show them off in Minecraft, to test them, to go through everything, and it took a lot of work from more than a few people here. So thank you to Adorable Hope putting together this map. Thank you to the editor. Always make sure to thank the editor. And thank you to you for watching this. I hope you found it to be informative. Videos like this take a lot more time than an average one. And so if you did appreciate it, make sure to like the video, to subscribe with those notifications turned on, or do something along those lines to show me that you want to see more in this sort of style. Because like I said, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort from a lot of people, but it's something I love to see the outcome of. And if you love to see the outcome of it, then I don't know, let me know. And if you don't, then well, this is the end of the video. So I guess I'll see you all in the next one. And I want to go look at those maps again. I mean, seriously, isn't this the coolest thing you've ever seen? Like, wow. Crazy. Anyway, speaking of crazy, thank you for watching. You've been crazy, and I do use that transition of speaking off too much, but does it not work? Maybe it doesn't. Goodbye.